way of being able to bring a community together, bring people together and knowledge together to be able to share. And that's the main thing that I really want to do with Fight Creative.
The Fight Creative Podcast, hosted by Seb Muirhead and Chan Griffin.
So, welcome to Fight Creative. My name is Chan Griffin, and I'm here with the amazing Malay Kim. He's been in different movies, such as Shang-Chi, The Continental, and the up-and-coming Mortal Kombat 2. He's been heavily involved in all of these things. So, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Chan.
No, you're a legend. So
No way. No way.
Yeah. All I would like to start with would be if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself and your upbringing, and then how you sort of transitioned into going into the stunt world.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I grew up like, I wouldn't say directly in poverty, but like in like in a lower income housing situation. You know, like we'd share like a 3-bedroom apartment with like my cousins. There's like 7 of us, like 7 of me and my cousins and their parents living on one spot. So it's a very crowded situation. We were very poor. There wasn't a lot of like outlets that I could do in terms of like putting me in a sport or anything like that. But I was a very active kid. If my mom bought me like a cheap Chinatown bike, I would just ride it for days until it breaks. You know what I mean? And that kind of felt the same with like martial arts. Having no work to go, nothing to do, all you do is watch TV, and there he is. There's Bruce Lee, there's Ninja Turtles, there's Power Rangers, and growing up watching just martial arts on films, like, oh, this is really cool. One day I want to do this, but you never really think about like a career as a kid. Like, I'm gonna be a real stuntman or whatever action star as you grow up. It's just like the stars just kind of lined up correctly for me. I learned martial arts. I started picking up real training when I was 14, but I started younger. Well, 14 is when I really started training. There was a martial arts club at my high school, and my mentor, big brother Den, Tuan, he was a senior. So he started training me just like basic taekwondo, basic strikes. And I found out that he was teaching, he was coaching at a taekwondo school nearby my house, actually, which is few blocks down, which is not like an easy trek. Sometimes, you know, you might run into trouble with some people. But my mom was like, okay, you're going to do this. I need you to have an activity, because at boys at your age, you're more likely to, you know, do something stupid, you know, join a gang or something like that. So she forced me to go to do martial arts. And I was a very shy kid. I absolutely did not want to do it. I didn't want to get punched in the face or, you know, do something wrong and look stupid. But after doing it for a while, I fell in love. Like, oh, this is kind of a passion that like really sparked something in me. Like, I can express myself and just have fun doing martial arts without being judged, being worried about being judged. So I started out in taekwondo. After a couple of years, he started, okay, now you can kick. Let's do some punching. Then I went on to boxing. From then on, I went to like Muay Thai. In our style, we don't really call it Muay Thai, but Muay Thai is just like a general, it's an easier term to understand. Like everyone, when you hear Muay Thai, it's Muay Thai. But when we were Cambodian, we call it Kun Khmer or Pradal Sare, which means free boxing. So that's kind of the style that I learned.
Wow.
17 or 18, I picked up wushu for a few months. And then I left because the sifu there wanted me to fully devote myself to wushu and like stop training other things. Like, nah, I can't do it. I started out in taekwondo. I'm gonna stick to it. I can't just quit it out of nowhere. And then
so did your Cambodian kickboxer teacher, was he the same person who was teaching you taekwondo? Wow.
Yeah,
so he was Cambodian too then.
Yeah, he's Cambodian. Like, so we grew up, I grew up in Long Beach, which is like at that time, I don't know what it is now, but at that time it was like the second biggest population out of Cambodia. Wow. Long Beach was it. And then I think second after that was Boston, Massachusetts, something like that. But yeah, we were the biggest outside of Cambodia. So everyone that I trained with they were all Cambodians. All Cambodians lived in the ghetto.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, so after the Kung Fu teacher, you were still going on with the Taekwondo and the Cambodian
boxing, kickboxing. Yeah. We like after high school, we still trained at a local college nearby. There's a Taekwondo club there, and we trained there as well. And then once I got more into my college years, we didn't get together and train as much, but I would still kind of train on my own. And we'd get together maybe once a week. We go to an open gym and practice tricks and stuff like that. But with the martial arts part kind of dwindled a bit, like the hardcore, like 7 days a week, 3 hours a day wasn't there as much anymore. And when I years later, much years later, we built a new stunt team and everything. Then now we're like, okay, now we're back into like real training, like sparring, and we're cross training each other. Like Johnny from our team is teaching us wushu, and we teach him boxing, and Robbie's teaching us hapkido techniques. Like we're all just cross training, and that was very helpful because it helped me sort of get new angles in terms of a perspective of fighting. Now it's not just strikes anymore. Now I have to learn how to perform a different way, move a different way, and that being able to move and think differently helps in terms of like giving direction to other performers, having new ideas for choreography. So having one style is a good base will help a lot, I think. But if like, if people ask like, what does it take to be like a fight choreographer? I'm like, well, I mean, anyone can be a fight choreographer. You just put moves together. But objectively, if you want to be better, it's the idea of always learning. You're always going to be learning. Doesn't matter if you're a black belt. Doesn't matter if you receive a master's certificate in some Filipino martial arts. Like the idea of always learning more and getting better is kind of the key to the point. Like you don't make a blockbuster film like, all right, I'm done. I'm retired. You still want to make more. You keep making more, even better ones.
Yeah, definitely. Everything is always constantly changing, and to be able to keep adapting to those changes, you got to grow with it too, I guess. Yeah. So, how did you sort of transition from the martial arts world into starting into stunts?
In high school, we did some martial arts demos. We had our own little martial arts demo team. It was me, my coach, his younger brother, and then my coach's martial arts brother as well. We had some friends as well, and we just did demos, rallies in school, Cambodian New Year's, Chinese New Year's, anything we can, like, there's a stage, we'll go on and just perform. And then we met with another team. They were called at that time Evolved Monkey Combat, and that was mainly just Zin and another fellow Jay Fan. It was just those two and like us four. We'd get together and train once a week at the open gym I was talking about, and we kind of just meshed. We got along really well. Like, hey, why don't we just make one team and start doing more live shows together? And then the transition to stunts didn't really happen until Zin made that infamous viral video back in like when YouTube was just a baby. It was called the Urban Ninja video. The funny story is like he didn't give himself that name. Someone ripped the video off another website, uploaded it, called it Urban Ninja, and it went up to like, I can't remember, like 50 million views or something like that. I think right now, if it's still up, it's probably at like 50 million. It's like 20 years old. 20-year-old video.
That's incredible. Awesome.
So he signed on with an agent because of that, or a manager rather, and his manager met with the whole team. He liked all of us, so he would just send us to auditions. They were like, I don't know what I'm doing. We have no idea what we're doing. We're just going to auditions and just doing martial arts. And then my first stunt job was from an audition I did back in 2006 or 2007. It was for a show called Kamen Riders. Thumbs up. They're trying to. They wanted to bring back Kamen Riders from Japan, like the rival of Power Rangers. So I did one season of that, and we filmed that in 2008. And that was my first taste of like doing real stunts.
Yeah, wow, awesome. How did you eventually find someone to sort of be under and like sort of learn from in the stunt world, or did you sort of go through and learn off of a wide variety of people?
I want to say at that time we didn't really have many people to guide us. We were huge fans of like Hong Kong film, and that's the only thing we'd watch. We would just watch these movies over and over and study them and figure out like how to fall at them without hurting yourself. How to shoot certain angles and this and that. It was more like we just studied over and over until we understood the game a little bit. But the reality of like doing stunts and like those movies are old, 80s and 90s, and at that time it was like mid 2000s. We're like, we're not gonna actually be doing these type of fighting and stunts. This is old school stuff. And then when we started getting more jobs, it became more of like, oh, we're just kind of suited up, running around, shooting a gun, getting shot and dying. Like that became like, okay, this is a stunt job versus what they did back then. It's very vastly different culture, different time. There was maybe one guy that really wanted to get us out there. His name was Kance. He sadly passed away a few years ago, but he taught me the idea of like shooting a previs. Like, I don't know what a previs is, and we just kind of shot it just in a generic angle, and we're like kind of goofing off in it, and we had no idea what we were doing. But he sat us. I was like, when you guys shoot previs, if I'm showing this to a producer, you want to show that you guys are serious. You guys are hard workers. Shoot it in angles that you think it would look good instead of just shooting a wide. So technically, he was our first mentor, and then from then on, we really just kept shooting ourselves, shooting stuff ourselves until 2016. Johnny got hired as the assistant stunt coordinator for Iron Fist, and I've never done a big job before. Johnny brought me on to be the assistant fight coordinator to help choreograph and shoot a viz and edit and stuff like that, which in terms of like the technicality, I knew that already, but it wasn't until that job that I learned like, okay, don't shoot too much coverage because they can't do that on a day. Don't give impossible choreo to your actor that you can't teach. And then do more storytelling. That was a big thing. Do more storytelling. Just do moves anymore. Do more storytelling. And it took me a while to get used to it. I'll be honest. Like, it was rough. It was not like I'm just used to, all right, this is the choreography. Shoot it. All right, move on. Next thing. Just moving really fast. Like the fights that I turned were really quick. I had to just turn them out really quick. But it wasn't for a while where I started to like just sit there for a moment and just be like, okay, what's this scene? Okay, this character had to do this. Okay, I have to show that. There were some points where I had to just previs, not even an action scene, just do this a dispute between two characters, and then one character punches the other one. They argue a little bit and like grabbing a knife and like stabbing him. Like, okay, now there's a little more emotionality involved in this. It's not just a fight scene anymore. But we still have to sell the stunt to the writer and the producer and the director. Like, he wants to see what it would look like if there's more emotion behind it. And that was that one. It surprisingly took as long as doing a full fight scene, because like teaching the stunt guys to act was new for me, and then having that stunt guys actually act was new for them. So it took.
Yeah, definitely. Like my first fight choreography job as well. Like I had no real idea what I was doing. Technically, like what you're saying, I kind of knew, but then you just learn so much. You sort of have to dive in and see if you can float, right?
That's sort of the best way. It's funny because when we were about to wrap, I think when we were still on MK2, Dave was assistant fight coordinating for Ice Road 2, I believe. Ice Road 2. He's like, oh man, I'm not ready for this. I'm like, no man, the only way to be ready for it is to just do it. You're not gonna go to school for this. You can't, like, someone can tell you things, but you'll never learn until you actually do it. And that's kind of it. If you can survive, just tread as long as you can until you make it out of there, and then you move on to the next thing. You take that knowledge that, okay, maybe if I'm trying to tread, don't flail around so hard. The next job I'll do better. Kind of the same. Keep adding to your repertoire.
Yeah. So do you feel like when you first shot that first ever previs, that was the beginning of your sort of indie journey with filmmaking as well? Or was it more so when you went to Iron Fist and that was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole different thing, and you had to study that more?
Yeah, it was definitely a whole complete thing. It's the idea of you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, you think you might know, which is good, but you can't let that cap you. So we started shooting stuff for me and my team. We started doing YouTube in 2011 or 12,
Wow,
like
awesome.
doing little shorts, little fun shorts with action and some dialogue and stuff. And this is before we started working on Iron Fist. Like we sort of told story, but they weren't like real stories, like no emotion or anything. It's just like, this guy stole his cake and now he's got to fight him and get his cake back, like stuff like that. And we did that for about 3 or 4 years. So that helped me gain the idea of like how to capture action better, but not necessarily how to tell a story better. So I took that knowledge with me into Iron Fist and coming up with these like interesting shot designs. But when I edited it, put it all together, I showed it to Brett. Brett's like, "Oh, this is shit." I was like, "This is shit? I thought it looks pretty good." In my mind, like, I thought it looks pretty good. And he's like, "There's no story. I don't know what's happening." I was like, "What do you mean? There's a good guy and there's a bad guy and they're fighting. They're fighting. What story?" So that was a completely new thing. Like, oh, you have to involve like I would pose more questions to him, like, what do you mean? How do I tell a story? And this and that. And it became more apparent, like, okay, don't just go through the motion, like actually see what the character's doing, what the purpose of what they're doing, and like a full movie into a little short piece, the conflict, the resolution and all that stuff.
Yeah, amazing. It's definitely quite a journey being in it, and then like people changing things all of a sudden, or you think you know something, but then they tell you, oh no, actually it should be like this, and you're like, oh whoops.
Yeah. And that actually just happened on a movie that just came out that I worked on 3 or 4 years ago. It came out so late. I'm reading the script, and this is by the time I knew more about like storytelling. So I'm reading the script, but I'm not getting any notes from the director or anything. I'm okay. I'm just gonna follow the script and do my best to relay what's written down here. And I went to go watch the movie last night. I'm like, this is completely different than what I read on the script. So I don't know if it's just like, obviously we didn't have communication, or just things change because budgetary reasons or what have you. But there is that loss in translation where having that communication between the fight coordinator, stunt coordinator, writer, director, that's solid relationship is so important to telling a story within a fight. Otherwise, if they don't know what you're doing or vice versa, it's never going to be a complete piece. And we've seen that happen many times where there's no cohesiveness between the stunt team and the actual production team. They're so separate. And when you watch the movie, you're like, okay, there's probably after Iron Fist season 1 and how bad it turned out, I started to understand. Okay, I know we knew what we were doing, but because there was a lost connection there, the show was not good.
Yeah. Do you feel like from that it was such a big lesson for you to be like, how did you use that lesson and apply it to other jobs from thereafter?
The biggest thing I can say from that is do not make enemies with the camera department or like the director. Like everyone has a knowledge in something that they're trained in. We're trained as stunt guys. They're trained in storytelling. Don't tell them, they don't know what they're doing. Like, well, that's your job to be the stunt guy and tell them how to do this. But don't just be like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. You guys do your acting stuff, we'll do our action stuff. Like, no, there needs to be a connection. So there are times where I'm on a job where like people get too bitter of like, they're just not listening and whatever. I'm like, well, help them understand. Sometimes they don't understand, sometimes they do, and that's really grateful. Sometimes they don't understand, and it's best to be teams with them, be a team player, do what the director wants, but give them a little something extra. Same like the DP. Some like your shots might be cool, but sometimes you can't accomplish that from what the DP has equipment wise. So don't tell them that they don't know how to do the shot, because they're working with real equipment where all we have is a camera, like this little thing here. So it's like I would say, do not make enemies. Don't separate yourself from them. Try to be together, be a team.
Yeah, it is really about like getting your ego out of the way, and then
Yeah,
making sure that you both have open communication.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the more defensive you get about your own thing instead of opening up to other people's ideas, the less you learn as well, right? Like, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, which, I guess from all of these different experiences that you've had, going through and going forward through all the different films that you've done now, it is almost like a really, really heavy film school for you, right?
Pretty much.
Stepping
Yeah.
into different roles and starting to really communicate with other
Hmm.
departments and coordinate between all of these departments, you really do get a really great insight into what the director does, what the producers do, what all the
Hmm.
wardrobe people do. So I guess now that you are stepping into more of a director role, because you've got this amazing idea for a short film that you are creating at the moment, which is called Ashes, a Kung Fu Story. Can you
Hmm.
tell us a little bit more about what that is and how people can get involved in it?
Yeah. Ashes started out as just like a fun idea of I just want to make cool kung fu action. That was kind of like it just, and that was it. Like the funny thing was after doing Iron Fist season 2, I said to myself, I don't want to do any more kung fu action. I'm kind of burned from it, and I wanted to Shang-Chi. Like, okay, do some more kung fu in this one. After Shang-Chi, like, okay, really no more kung fu, because in between those, I would do my own little kung fu shorts, like just little fun action pieces. Say, oh, man, I'm wasting too much time focusing on kung fu when there's other stuff I could be doing as well. But then I also realized, like, not to like toot my own horn, but there hasn't been a lot of Western kung fu action films as to date. Like there are a few. Like there's Everything Everywhere. Um, I can't think of any more.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, right? There's not a lot. It's mostly coming from the eastern side. So I
Mhm.
and the more I would say modern stuff like the grappling, the boxing, the movies, like that style of choreography. I wouldn't say it's been done to death, but there's so many teams that do that already. And I kind of thought to myself, man, I should be the kung fu guy for the Western side
Mm.
of things. And, okay, let me just go back and do more kung fu films. And then I met Terrell Coda, he is our lead in this one. I met him 3 or 4 years ago. And he's from Virginia. He went to COD, did the whole Cirque thing, and now he wants to be an actor. I'm like, dude, I have this idea. You wanna be my lead in it?
Mm.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm hella down. And it just became a thing like, okay, well, we'll just have fun, just kind of shoot it guerrilla style. And then the more I wrote the script, it's like, okay, it's getting kind of long. We might need a budget. We should do like a crowdfunding thing. And then I told my buddy Robbie, who's from my team, it's like, hey, what do you? He went to school for writing and producing and stuff like that. It's like, what do you think about pitching this to some investors to make a short? And he brought up a good point. It's like, well, not many people will invest in shorts because they're not going to get anything back. They'd rather invest in a feature.
Yeah.
So okay, but he's like, but there is a crowdfunding website that's particularly for artists, and it's called Seed and Spark.
Mm.
He previously worked on a short, and they got their funding through Seed and Spark. They managed to raise the full 13,000 that they were asking for in a span of 30 days. I'm
Awesome.
like, sick, let's do it.
Mm.
So we started this idea back in the fall, our fall, your spring,
Yeah.
which is around October, around early October, and we're like, all right, let's shoot it in December. Let's get ready and shoot in December. Obviously, it's way past that. Everyone got busy. People started getting work. But now we're kind of back in the grind, and we've been just focusing on the training, the stunt team, they did a previs day yesterday, I believe, at one of our studios.
Awesome.
So like we're doing it, we're taking the knowledge that we've learned from doing our indie stuff and adding it into the knowledge that we learned from being on a real production. Like we're going things legit. Like we're hiring, like a UPM, we're hiring makeup artists, we're hiring literally every position that's fillable, we're hiring it and not just doing it ourselves anymore.
Incredible.
So,
Incredible.
so I'm completely stepping away from the stunt department. I do have to train them and upkeep them in the particular style of kung fu, but other than that, I just give them my parameters. I'm like, I want this, 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 and this. The reason this happens because of this. Here's the script. This is what I want, and then you guys, I trust you guys to do it. If you don't fully achieve what I'm looking for, that's okay, as long as the choreography and as long as you give me the blueprint. I feel like I have the experience enough to just kind of pick up whatever's left over.
Yeah.
And so I just fully just trust them to give me everything.
That's awesome. That's so good. Let me see if I can do this and we can show you the audience a little bit of this trailer. So cool. So cool. Could you see that? Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the actors that you've chosen for this short as well?
Yes. So Terrell Bullock, his background in martial arts is Shaolin Kung Fu, which he learned from his dad, and his dad's a Kung Fu master. He grew up, I think, I forgot when he started, like when he was like 5 or something, like very young. So he's very athletic. He's very learned in Asian culture, Chinese culture specifically. He also grew up not just doing forms. He also sparred a lot too, because his dad made him do sancho, which is Chinese kickboxing practically. He started learning Bap Mei from me in September, I believe. And I love her. I always hire him wherever I can for any stunt jobs. If there's a space for him, I'll bring him on if I can. And then
Dexter told me he's a really lovely person. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. Yeah. So who's next? David Sakurai. I met him on season 1 Iron Fist.
Oh, cool.
He was one of the villains. Oh man, amazingly, like, we sort of just kind of kept in touch here and there. Like we'd comment each other's posts and stuff like that. We didn't really chat. And then he saw that I was teaching class Monday nights at Jam in Van Nuys, and he just showed up and started training with us. I'm like, yo man, it's been a while. Great to see you. Yeah, the small talk stuff. And then eventually, me and Terrell were going through the script, and we're like, okay, who can we get to be the villain? And we're just thinking, like, dude, let me get David. Because David is like, dude, on screen, his presence is something else. If you did you watch The Last Airbender, the Netflix TV series?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh man, so
he was on there.
He was on there. He's only in the first episode.
Oh, cool.
He plays a spy. He plays an Earthbender spy who infiltrated the Fire Nation. And his opening scene is so dope. It's so different from the rest of the show because it's a little more dark, it's a little more gritty. But yeah, so and I trust his presence. And luckily he already has some Wing Chun training. He's been doing Wing Chun for like a decade or something like that. So there's an easy transition from him doing Wing Chun into Bap Mei. And my goal ultimately is to film more stuff with actors and not just other stunt guys.
Mm.
We've had practice doing that since 2010. You know, like you get together with other stunt people and just shoot stuff. It's easy. I trust his skill, vice versa. But working with an actor gives you a different point of view, because you can
Yeah.
talk to a stunt guy about technique and all that stuff, but sometimes uh, actors don't have that same language that we do. They want to know, like they want to learn the mechanics of how things work, but they also want to know, like, okay, if I'm gonna do this to this person, why am I doing all these moves? Like it feels like I'm wasting time, and that's the perspective that as choreographers sometimes we don't think about, because we just like seeing cool like stuff all the time, right? Like,
Mm.
I think a million moves is cooler than just like one big punch, but sometimes that one punch is way better than giving me 30 beats of choreo, because
Yeah.
that impact of that one punch is much stronger to sell for an actor and a director and an audience. Because they say all
Definitely.
the time, if you watch a fight, how many times do you remember what they did? Like no one's gonna remember all of this stuff. All they remember is Donnie Yen punching someone in the face, right? All they remember
Key
is
moments, highlights.
Jackie Chan jumping over a railing 20 feet down, stuff like that. You know,
Mm.
it's not all this. So that perspective, again, like the storytelling, it helps so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about your fight team, fight coordinators, choreographers, and that you've got on board for this?
Yeah, of course. You know one of them already, Michael Lair. He has been a long time colleague of mine since 2011. I'd say we did two projects together back to back. The Sleeping Dogs short. You know, he played like the boss villain, and then we did a one-on-one fight in 2012 where we did a homage to Special ID and Flashpoint, the Donnie and MMA movies. And we were like literally throwing punches at each other. Like we would hit each other sometimes, and you know,
Awesome.
and then we sort of went different routes in the industry, and we reconnected on Continental, and then we started just doing a bunch of more projects together. He would always throw my name in. It's like, oh, you need a I need a fight coordinator with me. Can you bring on Malay? You know, I would jump on. I'm very, he's been able to do that, and you know, obviously we worked on Mortal Kombat 2 together, and I trust Mike's skill, because he also made films since like 2000, like his own films. Now he wasn't just a stunt guy. If anything, Mike was an actor beforehand. He was an actor
Yeah.
and writer, and and you know, he having that background in storytelling helps me so much, because I don't have to focus so much on the choreography, which leads into the story. I'm like, I trust you to tell me the story. I already gave it to you, and I'll shoot it in a way where I can express my way a little more. So
That's incredible
and
that you got Michael to
yeah,
be able to come on board too.
yeah. If anything, I sort of forced him to it to do it, because he himself did a short film in 22 or 20. Oh man, 2021, 22, and he's like, "Do you want to be my stunt coordinator?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So now we're kind of switching roles. So he was director,
Awesome.
coordinator, and we're switching roles.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's the thing.
and
Hey, like you've got to support each other as much as you can with whatever you're
yeah,
doing. Like it's the
yeah.
only way you can really grow. Doing it all by yourself, it's
It's
so
tough.
hard. It's
Yeah, it's
tough.
super tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then at the same time, we're sort of mentoring a new fight coordinator. His name's Arman Rabna.
Oh, amazing.
Dude, he's learned more.
Ruina's told me about him. He
Yeah,
said he's
he
awesome.
knows like
Yeah.
a million martial arts. I can't name them all. Um,
Mm.
he's super talented dude. Um, so he's trying to step foot into the fight coordinating position. So we're training him in that aspect. So Mike's there to just kind of oversee, but he wants him to just kind of take the lead and do what he needs to do to learn how to communicate with the guys that he's hired. It's funny because Armand would refer to me like, who should I bring? I was like, hey, man, that's up to you guys. Like, Mike, I was like, hey, that's up to you. Don't
Yeah.
ask me. I'm stepping away. Like, I want you to learn how to take control of this.
That's awesome. That's
Like
so
we were saying
good.
before, going into the deep end, right?
Yeah, definitely. Do you find it hard to let go of that side, or I guess you
Um,
just made a pact with yourself at the start and just said, "No,
for
we'll do it."
for this, it's easier. For this,
Mm.
is easier because I don't feel like there's a risk. Um, because I guess I am heading this whole train. right? So I'm sort of leading everyone where I want to go. Um, on my last job, I was the head fight coordinator, but I had to leave for another job, and I was training another one of my former members to be the fight coordinator. So I would let him. I'd already have the choreography set. And I was like, I want you to shoot this and edit it and do sounds and do everything yourself. And I'll give you what you should do, but it's up to you to figure out how to do it because I can't be there, giving him step 1, step 2, step 3. And I want to, same thing, I want to step away as much as I can. Like I'm sitting in a bag. Sometimes I'll be editing another viz and I'll just watch him. I'm like, because this is a job, there's a little more risk. I can't just let things, if it's not good, I can't let it get away. Yeah. And it's not the fact that it's not good, it's the fact that I want him to be better.
Yeah.
So I would like get up and I would tell him, oh, you should do this, you want to focus on this point because that's what we're trying to sell in the story. Like we want to see the blade coming close to his face, so maybe capture slow-mo or something like that. It's just very specific things.
Yeah, but that's incredible as well because the great thing I find is that you're still willing and open to be able to pass on these things to other people. There's so many people in this industry that are so protective of all their knowledge and like get afraid of people taking their job or like,
yeah.
If I bring him up, he's going to just steal my job,
Yeah, that is a very interesting way to look at it because it does happen a lot. But because I was given so many opportunities, I didn't have just like one boss. I've worked with like a lot of coordinators, a few more than others, right? Some jobs with the same people over and over. But it's the idea of like, I've been given so many opportunities and learned so much, not just from them, but like from their bosses and, and from my peers. So, even when just going back to like martial arts, when I first learned at the high school, it was free. There's no fee or anything. Like it was just my coach, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to come learn? Just come learn. I'm just teaching for free." So it's hard for me to transition to that spot of charging people for knowledge, so to speak, is because I want everyone to get better. I'd rather have everyone be good at their jobs and keep everyone safe and be able to get more jobs for other people rather than no one work at all.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel like my philosophy is that no matter how much you teach people or try and show people things or give everything that you have to people, they're always going to be a different person. They're going to do it in a different way.
Yeah.
They're going to, they might outgrow you and become a lot better than you in certain things or whatever. But it doesn't change the fact that a lot of people hire you for you, not just for your skills. Obviously you have to have a certain level of skill to be able to get a job done and do it well. But then at the end of the day, it's you as a person that they want to hire because of your unique look at things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
it's no, go on.
No, sorry, I was just going to say that that's kind of why, like for me, I really wanted to reach out to you and support this Ashes, a Kung Fu story, because I really love all of the things that you put out and what you and what I saw on Mortal Kombat 2 with you and Michael leading the helm of the fights. It was incredible to see and watch, and I'm just so excited to be able to see you direct something that has some kind of
so much pressure
too, no, it's so great. Like, and I feel like as well, like when I was starting as well, if I had the support, of other people, even if it was like, some people just donating their time to come and help on set or whatever, like if I was making a little short or any of that stuff, it meant the world to me to be able to create these things. Anthony Rinner really helped me and I helped him, and we both helped each other grow together, because we, you know, would go and like, oh, let's go and train together. Let's film something. Let's do a fight together. And then all of a sudden we start bringing more and more people on, and they start supporting, and, you know, you work really hard in your restaurant job or whatever and save up all your money to be able to go and like hire something to be able to use for the day or whatever, you know. So it sort of all builds up together. And I think what's amazing about what you've done is that all of the things that you've done in the past has sort of led you to this moment of being able to create Ashes, a Kung Fu story, and really step into something that's not just someone you know, oh, let's get a couple of friends together and just shoot something. It's well thought out, it's well structured. You've gotten an amazing team together, and you're really building something that will be, you know, awesome, and something different for the audience to see. And I think, you know, if anyone can support it, you know, like, just even if you've only got $10 or whatever, you can just show your support. Anything is good, because it's just it's more so about just showing some support for something that you know, is going to be a part of a community, and you being involved in this community of stunt people, and helping each other, because it'll come around, you know.
It's called paying it forward.
Pay it forward, you know, for sure. For sure.
It's that same idea of like, you know, you treat others how you want to be treated, right? That's kind of what you've been taught as a kid. And whether you get treated nice or not, it's the idea of like, I know what it feels like to be, you know, treated like shit or whatever, right? Whatever the cause. So I wouldn't want that upon anyone else.
No.
You'd want that person to strive and do better and have a better situation than you were in, and having that empathy helps a lot. Sure, there is a perspective of like, because of our jobs, it is tough. It's not like, you know, it's not all sunshines and daisies, right? Our jobs do get tough, and it does take a certain level of tenacity to go through it, right? But at the same time, if you can help someone go through it much easier, why not?
That's right.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I guess the industry here in Australia is a little bit different to over in America, and I guess even the people and the personalities and things, the exposure of people that you get here, like I guess whenever an international team comes over, or an American team or someone, everyone in Australia gets so excited, all the Australian stunties, because we get an opportunity to learn, you know. Back when I was doing it, like, I had to travel, you know, travel to the US and travel to Canada, and try and find the people to be able to learn under that would be willing to let me have a go, you know. So it's a real privilege to be able to have people come and visit here, and I think no one here really takes that knowledge for granted, because it's still such a growing thing in Australia. More so in the fight world, I think. You know, Australians have been doing stunts for a long, long time, and some absolute legends, like, for sure. But as the fight stuff has evolved quite quickly since the 90s, I reckon, you know, Australia's starting to keep going, man. Keeping up with the times.
So. you guys got some big hitters now.
Yeah, some of the guys here are really amazing now, and girls, obviously. So so where can we go to be able to support Ashes? How do we get involved with it?
Like, the easiest way to get to our website, it's on Sea and Spark, but the address is a little finicky. So the easiest way is just go through my IG. There's a link to the website, and my Instagram is Malay the Stunt Guy.
Yep. So Malay the Stunt Guy, and so if you can just follow him on Instagram, and there's also Ashes _Kung Fu, Ashes Kung Fu, right? As an Instagram profile that you guys are having, which is pretty great. And just get involved if you can. Like, it's going to be an amazing thing, and I'm super excited to see it.
Thank you guys. We appreciate everything. $5, $10, anything will help us.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be such a great thing. You guys have already amassed a lot of support, which is awesome to see. But
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot more support that is needed to be able to make this something amazing. I guess the thing is that you know, it's easy to be able to just go out. Well, it's not that easy, but easy to go out and just go and shoot something. But it's a lot harder to be able to bring a whole team together of people and pay them and be able to coordinate all of those things and feed them and do things right. You know, that's just the next real big jump and big step up. And it's so great that you're diving into it to be able to do that as well, and be able to make sure that everyone's insured and all of those things. So every dollar will count towards being able to make a really good product and keeping everyone safe and making something super cool to watch.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I won't let you guys down.
Thank you so much, Malay, for coming on the podcast. We definitely have to get together again and have a good chat about some more awesome stuff. And
my plan, hopefully, if everything kind of works out, is I really want to visit you guys again and just get together, and maybe a couple of days out the week we'll do like a seminar, and I'll try to show what I know and vice versa. Like I want to, knowledge comes from all aspects, right? It's not just one side. I learn from like the way things are done in Australia more, and what have you. Like you're a freaking master yourself.
No, definitely not.
Man.
Definitely not. I did what you did and just dived in and had no idea what I was doing, and then had to learn along the way. So I'm very grateful that, and I will definitely take you up on that offer. It'd be so great.
Let's do it.
To be able to learn from you, and there's so many people here who would benefit from all the things that you've got to pass on to the next generation. So
hell yeah,
very grateful, very grateful. Thank you so much for the chat, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man. See you.